Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. On sign language. Elizabeth Nakakoni will dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has emphasized the importance of supporting the agricultural sector, particularly the sugarcane growers who have already received backing from Uganda Development Bank. The president praised their potential to diversify their produce by creating not just sugar, but also ethanol and animal feeds, boosting the dairy industry in the region. President Museveni made the remarks at the 4th biennial private sector CEO retreat in Jinja.
The 4th Bioannual CEO Forum has concluded today with a call on putting emphasis on expanding the services sector, specifically tourism and hotels, to enhance Uganda's image as a desirable destination for both domestic and international travelers. President Yoweri Museveni emphasized the significance of investing in the knowledge economy. Museveni encouraged the use of skills and innovation to produce value-added products, enabling Uganda to compete effectively on a global scale.
The knowledge economy, where you use skills and innovation to produce products. So we have been funding these efforts. But initially, of course, we had a disturbance from the Ministry of Finance because they were not really supporting them fully.
Issues related to the environment and value addition of exports was also addressed.
But you are squandering, you are losing much more money by exporting unprocessed coffee. You are losing billions of dollars each year. Why don't you see that? That's a big loss. Is it something called opportunity cost, something you lose because you didn't? It's very high. When you export unprocessed raw materials, instead of finished products, you are losing a lot of money.
On the topic of timber exports, the president clarified his stance on value addition and discouraged the export of unprocessed timber and encouraged the local production of furniture, which can then be exported, thus creating added value for Uganda's timber resources.
Now, when it is coming from Congo, I think that one also we should persuade our Congolese friends to make furniture, because that one will be a loophole. They will take our timber, claiming it is coming from Congo. That lack of vision is what I cannot support. That State House, which we built in 2007, the furniture there is all imported. Can you imagine? That's how I called the controller who was there at that time. How can we sit on imported furniture here in Uganda?
Museveni called for the adoption of biosolutions for pest control in agriculture, citing the potential benefits for the dairy industry in particular.
We followed you in real time, particularly watching you on UBC television. About 99% of your speeches were talking about business and the economy. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. I was particularly touched with your meeting with President Putin, when you spent time talking about this very place, Killer Motors, on how we can develop our lithium into batteries, on how we can develop our own charging system, how we could develop our coffee from beans into a finished product. That is the leadership we've come to appreciate from Your Excellency.
Mentioning a vaccine being developed against ticks, the president stressed the importance of using biological methods to improve the quality of agricultural produce, including milk and beef.
Excellency, Killer Motors has prepared a business plan, 5 years business plan, which has been cleared by the National Planning Authority. And the business plan is costed at 524 billion Uganda shillings. And I would like to invite the industry chairpersons here, all the CEOs, to take interest in this investment opportunity
Museveni urged the Prime Minister to take the lead in ensuring departments share information seamlessly for better governance. President concluded by encouraging local industries to embrace innovation, stressing the potential of the knowledge economy and the advantages of utilizing intellectual labor. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And a section of members of the National Executive Committee of the Forum for Democratic Change Party have disassociated themselves from the ongoing elections, branding it as a sham that violates the party's constitution. While reading a statement signed by these members to the press at Fairway Hotel in Kampala, party spokesperson Ibrahim Ssemujju said they demand that the current party electoral commission be disbanded.
During the just concluded FDC Party National Council meeting, the standoff on conducting internal party elections was discussed and no decision was made. However, some members of the party from different regions across the country are surprised that an exercise that is not transparent is taking place in the absence of a voters' register where only those with party cards must qualify. They urge the people they represent to shun such political appointments from the party because those conducting them are not following right procedures.
Call upon all people who represent, especially in the Kabaale region, not to take part in the sham elections.
Situation where the Secretariat has appointed members to fill the structures of a city, of a district which I represent, I really reject.
As from my region, I call upon you to resist this election until we told you to do so. And
as these were organizing a Shabe election, Biamakama was announcing a roadmap. It is not a coincidence. It is a plan.
In a statement signed by some National Executive Committee members to disassociate themselves from the elections, the spokesperson FDC, Ssemujju Ibrahim Nganda, alleges the Secretary General, Nandala Mafabi, stopped the exercise of issuance of party cards after ensuring only his voters had received.
Kabamwenda Electoral Commission must be disbanded. A new, credible and impartial electoral commission should be instituted. Amriyad and any other party leaders or leader who intend to participate in this election as a candidate should step aside, and an interim leadership is constituted to steer the party up to the next delegates conference.
The party, by going ahead to conduct elections, violates the resolutions made during the 16th June NEC meeting to stay the elections and hold a retreat to discuss issues in the party, including the alleged dirty money.
To date, the 2-3 individuals who have hijacked management of the party are not allowing those processes to take place. And that's the reason we have made it categorically clear that unless and until we go into a retreat, come up with a proper roadmap, those elections are not going to proceed.
The FDC Vice President for Eastern Region, Salam Musumba, says the elections taking place are not credible because the standards of gazetting the day, time and place are not being followed. While the Deputy President, Northern Region FDC, Okin PP Ojara, said this election abrogates the constitution of the party and they will not be party.
Even in the places where the selections have happened, that standard has not been met. We all believe and know that they have been grossly interfered with. And therefore it's not too much to ask from our colleagues an election that meets the standards of Forum for Democratic Change.
The Constitution, then what is the purpose of this Constitution? What is the purpose of this law?
Some members have vowed to rally fellow members to defend the party, while others say what they have to do is not negotiable because they are not going to be compromised.
The members that I know are not going to give up on democracy. The FDC members that I know are not going to give up on fighting for Forum for democratic change.
We're ready to put in our all, and we're not ready to allow anybody to mess around with the FDC.
It is only when the top leadership of the FDC party agrees to hold a retreat, as it was resolved in NEC, and deliberates on issues destabilizing the party, that the party will regain harmony. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
And the members of Parliament sitting on the Committee of Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance have appreciated the concern that Uganda Broadcasting Corporation needs further funding in order to improve service delivery. In a familiarization meeting with the management of UBC, the MPs questioned why the budget allocation to UBC has continued to be abused over time. In the previous financial year 2022-23, only 40% of the approved budget for UBC was released, according to UBC's Managing Director, Winston Agaba.
Parliament has questioned the spirit in which the subvention to the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has continued to hit a dead end. The UBC management, led by Winston Agaba, the MD, shared knowledge with the Parliamentary Committee on Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, chaired by Budiope MP Moses Magogo.
Failure to service the aging and obsolete broadcasting and transmission equipment that frequently breaks down. Currently, the two live view machines are faulty, thus compromising live broadcasting.
Despite several presidential directives demanding that UBC be availed funding, even the approved finance by Parliament has remained uncertain.
The presidential directive is clear, UBC to receive 30 billion going forward, and this is the second or third presidential directive to that effect. So we are very optimistic that this directive will be followed, and it is clear because it spells out what we ought to do with that money. We have to revamp and make sure we have state-of-the-art equipment.
The MPs demanded that a meeting between the committee and the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development be convened to iron out the challenge.
For me, I think, Chair, you need to meet the President of this Council as a committee for him to appreciate the challenges of UBC, because directives have been given. Directives have been given but not implemented. So where is the problem?
Let's have our internal interaction with the Minister of Finance, with the UBC. Eventually we shall seek also the engagement of His Excellency, because he has written a letter. But some of these letters have actually not been implemented. Maybe they are not practical as well. So when we finish all this, we want to engage with even His Excellency the President himself, such that he is an interested party.
But we believe that with this engagement and engaging with Minister of Finance, we shall be able to have finance to prioritize some of the activities that must be done, because we believe that every Ugandan is entitled to the free-to-air viewing of television.
MD Agaba reminded the MPs of the $1 million debt with Intelsat, a satellite service provider, whose interest is accumulating despite the government promises to intervene.
Which has really curtailed all our endeavors to make sure that Signet is up and running, providing a service that all our clients on that platform can enjoy.
Parliament recently allocated funds to a tune of $7.5 billion to boost the free-to-air services through Signet, but this was not fulfilled. Since October 2022, the satellite service has been switched off by Intelsat, affecting the transmission of content to upcountry, especially the direct-to-home service.
People should be watching free-to-air television services. So how do we get content upcountry? One, we can use satellite, and two, we can use the fiber optic route. Now, NITAU is working on a project where they'll be able to connect all our 18 television sites using fiber. And then we hope to use satellite as a secondary means. However, government needs to pay the debt.
MD Agaba rubbished a myth by propagandists that UBC does not give space to all political players, as raised by the Mityana District Woman Member of Parliament, Joyce Bagala.
Please don't think about, oh, it is just government and this is what we need to do. If you invite particular people, are you gagged from inviting particular people on your platforms?
We have political programs that are running, And you'll attest to the fact that we have hosted almost all the political actors. Those that haven't appeared, it is by choice, because we have invited all the parties, and we shall continue engaging. And we believe that this is a platform where you ought to articulate your issues, either alternative to what government is saying or complementing what government is saying.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Another history of public broadcasters dates way back in the early 20s, when the British government thought it necessary to form up its own airwave to bridge the gap of information dissemination with its citizens. In what started from 1 million miles away from Africa in the early 20s, the continent embraced it, and various countries started creating their national radio stations, whose mandate was fully funded by government. UBC's marketing head, William Odochi, asserts that the president's directive to fund UBC is a decision which comes in a little bit late.
For over 2 decades, the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, has dominated airwaves across the world.
Now, the idea was to make sure that the British people had an infrastructure for public information.
According to the head of sales and marketing at UBC, Odoc William, what is started from Britain was later embraced by the rest of the world, including Africa.
Being a public broadcaster means that you should be able to cater for every interest.
Uganda not being exceptional, having formed its national broadcaster in the early 50s, its job was only one.
Unlike Kenya and Tanzania, Kenya Broadcasting was born in 1963. In Uganda, Radio Uganda was born in 1953. Now, it remained a department under different ministries: Information, Office of the President, Prime Minister's Office, now ICT and National Guidance. That happened until 1963, when UTV was born.
Odoki asserts to the fact that with the evolution of private media in Uganda in the 1980s, the government-owned media houses had a dry test.
You could no longer afford to take the viewers for granted. You cannot afford to take the audience for granted. You needed to improve on the quality of the service that you give. You needed to improve on the quality of the content that you give.
He notes that for the dark days came when government of Uganda liberalized the economy.
Many people could now switch because you had liberty to move from one station to another. So you are no longer confined to watching only one station, maybe UTV, which we used to watch then.
For government of Uganda took a path of capitalizing UTV and Radio Uganda through the 2005 UBC Act, to which many asserts need to be respected.
UBC Act spells out the mandate of a public service broadcaster, that is UBC. Number one, to develop a broadcast infrastructure across the country. Number two, to make sure that every citizen is able to receive information.
Although the UBC Act 2005 had a component and clause of TV tax, for years it has not been respected.
Now, one key area where UBC was supposed to be funded was through the TV tax.
It is therefore revealed that for close to 10 years, since 2005, government of Uganda only sent 10 billion shillings to the national broadcaster.
At the time that UBC was formed, UBC had very old equipment from Radio Uganda and from UTV. Now, to get this to meet the current pace at which technology is developing, you cannot do that with that kind of budget.
With neighbors like Kenya, who funds the public broadcaster with 27 billion shillings per year, Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation pocketing 40 billion shillings annually, Uganda remains the poor facilitators to the state media, having received at one time shillings 1 billion every year.
So as a result of that, we don't have a way out but to turn to government, which is actually the owner of UBC.
And now, President Kaguta Museveni's directive to monopolize government adverts to UBC is a move being welcomed.
And believe you me, if at all the president meant that it should be so, perhaps he can be persuaded to understand that there is need to support the private sector.
According to William Odok, it is written in black and white that UBC needs funds as of yesterday. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Fishermen dealing in cargo boat loading and passenger movement at Kasenyi landing site to different islands of Kalangala have accused authorities of negligence in supervising and monitoring how much tons of cargo and passengers each boat carries. On Tuesday night, the 1st of August, a boat capsized on Lake Victoria and over 20 on board are still missing and suspected dead.
UPDF Marine has resumed operations on cargo boats transporting passengers without life jackets. The operation will go through the night to stop movements of boats to reduce accidents occurring on Lake Victoria.
Now we are going to start arresting you people. Whoever doesn't have a life jacket and we happen to intercept you, we are going to work hand in hand with the police, with the Marine Police. Whoever, because for now we have seen several times now in the few months back, people have lost their lives. They have been so negligent their lives because of the life jackets.
The cargo boat from Kalangala Island to Kasese landing site capsized midway due to overloading, claiming 20 lives on board. As such mission to retrieve bodies has not yielded result. The UPDF Marine report shows that the capsized boat was overloaded.
It had 15 bags of silver fish. It had the dry fish. It had the fresh fish. It had the food and the people.
However, supervision and monitoring of the movement of cargo boats and passengers is questionable. At Kasenyi landing site, UBC witnessed management of cargo boats, management and loading. The cargo boat loading was competitive as business flock waited to board with merchandise. Nobody ensures compliance to boat condition, size and capacity.
Eza wanatukozesa bwongo no loading never loading elyato atatutegedde baba meka bali suppose digendako bameka elyato nelitikia da kabindo kati olisanga epo oli bali nakola ki
tuba tutika bino ebinaala babosi tebabeerawo babeera mu ofisi gaabwe abaana bebakola ki bebatika kati bosi nibo sange ng'ekinala kijjudde n'omugabe bitu bitooleko takkiriza olw'ensonga tayagala kutwala kago yafune ssente wa.
The fisher flock loading boats told UBC that there were no guidelines to follow.
Batugerere amaato nti eryo eryato lirina kutwala abantu bwe bati lirina kutwala kago yenkana bwati.
Tebafaayo ku bano bakiraya nti abatudde mu ki ne commodities n'obutafaayo ku life y'abantu abakola ki abalimu. Era mbadde nsaba gavumenti singa ebadde esobola babawe ne pameti ate bagenda okuwa pameti bamala kukebera mutwe nga ffe badriver.
The UPDF Marine also accused fishermen of negligence on observing requirements on board, like putting on the life jackets.
Others, they carry out this criminal part of it. They could move, they could commit crimes. Secondly, carry out so much illegalities. So when you say boat moving at night, at times it could be having those activities carrying out.
Twetaaga government tuterewo ne rescue team ezibeera ku mazzi nti singa amato gaba gafunye obuzibu tubaako we tukuba essimu eza emergency ku speed tulina kale abamalini poliisi n'amagye oluusi tubakubira naye ate oluusi bakeerewa.
However, fishermen complain of taxes as a factor to overloading and acquiring life jackets and boat engines.
And now the second batch of youth under the Presidential Industrial Hubs has been assessed by the Directorate of Industrial Training and is ready for the job market. These have been undergoing 6 months training, skills training in different trades, and according to the Director of Presidential Industrial Hubs and Projects, Engineer Raymond Kamgisha, this initiative is aimed at addressing socio-economic development through job creation.
1,000 youth from 19 presidential industrial hubs countrywide have been assessed by the Directorate of Industrial Training and are ready to create employment for development. These have been undergoing courses like tailoring, welding, carpentry, hairdressing, bricklaying, and bakery. The Director, Presidential Industrial Hubs and Presidential Projects, Engineer Raymond Kamgisha, says the vision to reduce unemployment among the youth in the countryside is now a reality.
Because we talk about unemployment, but majorly it is because our people, Ugandans, don't have, most of our youth, don't have employable skills. So what Industrial Hubs is addressing, it is giving people skills.
Engineer Kamgisha says that the initiative is supported by State House and all unemployed youth are free to join.
It is a residential program and all people will accommodate them. Now we are currently accommodating 4,600 for free. You come and you learn your skills and go back and change your society.
The systems administrator at the Directorate of Industrial Training, Mwesgwa Isaac, said this program opens chances for youth to upgrade to higher skilling levels.
Really, candidates have learned, have got skills. People are doing things that would have been got in different technical schools, but the hubs have put them in place to help the society. Candidates really, they are doing things that are in line with DIT standards.
The zonal hubs managers say such skills acquired by the youth will transform them and their communities.
To urge the youth who are out there to come and grab this great opportunity. Please come and create your future, because the best way to predict your future is to create it. The program is free, there is no qualification required, it's just your willingness to come and learn.
The youth hail skills.
I advise each and every youth there to at least have 1 or 2 skills, hand-to-hand skills, because the future where we are going, it is skills.
We apologize for that. The minority communities of Uganda have convened to develop a special petition towards their struggle to attain rights to nationality. Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, commended these stateless individuals for choosing the legal pathway other than anarchy.
At least 6 minority communities in Uganda are discriminated by laws and basic policies of the national administration. These people have no recognized citizenship and are unable to enjoy fundamental rights like health care, education, and freedom of movement for the lack of national recognized documents.
We are discriminated in many things. Like, for example, in our community, we are being called a word called Dorobo. And for other majority community, they take that as a derogative language to mean primitive people, and that one we feel very bad.
The first one is to have a seat at the table being talked about, and you are here, and we need more people to have seats at the table. And getting a seat at the table is not easy.
People under this category survive on false identities for travel documents. Stateless communities are dialoguing with relevant authorities for legal redress and inclusion.
IDs, but disguised what? IDs. And you know what it means. There's total loss of esteem, you lose culture, your identity, you are camouflaging, traveling under false identification. It is very dangerous. If you went at an airport and then you had a problem, then they try to trace your origin, it fails. What happens? So it's not good. It's not.
The Constitution of Uganda is amended by 2005. Only 65 ethnic communities are recognized, leaving other tribes with unclear identities as vulnerable.
We can build a world where every individual is recognized, protected, and embraced as a citizen of a country.
The United Nations High Commission for Refugees advised the government of Uganda to implement the pledge of including these groups by 2024.
we must collectively advocate for legal reforms, streamline citizenship procedures, and strengthen safeguards that prevent and reduce statelessness.
Let the hearings not just be in Parliament. Let the hearings go to the ground where the people are.
Government is cognizant of the increasing number of stateless population and their potential threat to the security and economic planning of the country.
He knows what stateless people are doing in our neighborhood of the Great Lakes. They are the targets for recruitment by even terrorist groups.
The ethnic communities asserting for legal redress and inclusion in the Constitution of Uganda includes Bahaya, Bakabu, Bakingwe, Baziba, Maragori, Mosopishek, and Sabot. Abudu Nasele Lowama for UBC.
And with that, we take a quick break. When we return, more details. This is News Tonight.
Ensangi zino amaka gaffe tegakyali kifo gye tusula busuzi. Waafuuka ekifo we tukolera enkiiko z'emirimu, we tusomera, we twenywereza mu byokwerinda, era we tusanyukira. Ebintu bino byonna okutambula obulungi weetaaga internet eyasigika. Weefunire router ya MTN Wakanet esobola okuyungako ebyuma 32 ofune bando ya GB 4 ez'obwereere ku mitwalo 14 zokka. Obagula MTN Wakanet MiFi ku mitwalo 7.5 zokka ofune bando ya GB 15 ey'obwereere onyumirwa omutimbagano gwa internet. Genda ku maduuka ga MTN ogule MTN Wakanet MiFi oba router onyumirwa internet ekola ebyewuunyisa.
Uganda's oil and gas activities are undertaken in line with the updated environment legislation and benchmarked on international best practice standards in order to continuously ensure coexistence between the oil activities and Uganda's rich biodiversity. Following the award of the Environment and Social Impact Assessment certificates for the Kingfisher, Tilenga, and East African crude oil pipeline projects, various environmental and social management plans have also been developed to ensure sustainable development of the projects. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is working with other regulatory bodies to monitor all oil and gas activities to enhance compliance and environment protection during oil activities. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mood Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. His reason is to be the GOAT. The reason to imagine is to take the beat and make it lit. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Malaria is still the #1 cause of death in Uganda. To help you protect your family from malaria, the government of Uganda is giving mosquito nets to every household. Register and receive your mosquito nets from the community health worker. Distribution of nets in the following districts and cities will take place between the 1st and 15th of August. Kaliro, Sironko, Rakai, Bugweri, Masaka, Dokolo, Karungu, Chotera, Bududa, Luengo, Nakaseke, and Mbale districts, plus Masaka and Mbale cities. Every district will have received their mosquito nets by November. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. Sleep under a mosquito net every night. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the Global Fund.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say.
Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles?
So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21# or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. 7 Rotary clubs in Kampala have united to launch a groundbreaking initiative known as Boy Child Uplifting Program. The project seeks to equip young boys with vital skills, instill a positive mindset, and create a better future for them.
Nearly 87% of initiatives in Uganda focus on supporting and mentoring the girl child, leaving only 13% dedicated to the boy child. Recognizing this imbalance, the Rotary clubs have taken action to uplift and empower young boys who have been facing various hardships and struggles.
We went to the remand home of Naguru. We found 166 remandees. There were only 4 girls. From there, we went to Guru remand home. We found there 155 remandees. There were 3 girls. From there, we went to Arua. We found 101 remandees. There was no single girl. From Kampiningsa, 195 remandees, 4 girls. From Hoima, 104 remandees, there is no single girl. So you realize that there is a problem with the boy child.
The initiative aims to skill young boys in areas such as environmental conservation, craftsmanship, and various livelihood skills, enabling them to thrive independently and lead successful lives.
But there are no jobs. First of all, for us when you are growing up, we knew one thing, white-collar jobs, but they are no longer there. Government has no jobs. Most of the factories, because of COVID, had to retrench workers. So many are on the street. So if they come up here and get a skill of making liquid soap, of making the bricks we have seen, of how to plant trees, how to keep bees, they'll be able to earn a living when they go back to their families or where they live in their communities, and also support their communities as well.
The project emphasizes the importance of a mindset change, encouraging young boys to rise above societal challenges and become leaders in their communities.
Those skills, we hope, will be deployed by the youth to earn an income. So we are achieving income generation for the youth that we will skill. We will be living better learning environments in schools and institutions, while at the same time, hopefully, we will have an implication on the level of crime that we hope that it will go down.
The initiative is not about competition, but focuses on addressing the needs and potential of the boy child so they can lead fulfilling lives and contribute positively to society.
Jaja Boy and I have visited, and Auntie Boy have visited our Archbishop, among others, for this particular school, the Archbishop of Uganda. Why the Archbishop of Church of Uganda? His Grace Kazimba Mugalu. Why? To ask him to support Rotary in this drive. I'm sure you know that he has the boy child at heart.
One of the key factors the project will be tackling is the issue of high dropout rates among boys in schools. The program aims to reduce dropouts and equip boys with the necessary tools to face the challenges of a competitive job market. The project has set a 5-year timeline to measure its success, conducting monitoring and evaluation every 6 months to assess progress and make necessary adjustments. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Equal Opportunities Commission Tribunal have concluded a case in which Awan Hilganje Everest reported his siblings over discrimination against him. Everest sought redress on grounds that his sisters and brothers denied him a share on his father's property because his mother was from Burundi.
Haliganje Everest, 68 years, reported a case to the Equal Opportunities Commission Tribunal alleging that his siblings denied him a share of his late father's property on grounds that his mother is from Burundi. He alleges that his brothers and sisters chased him from a house he had occupied at Nachigalala and Makandwa, and he is now homeless. The commission, headed by Hajat Safia Narule Juko, concluded that the refusal by the respondents to give Everest a share on his late father's estate is an act of discrimination contrary to Section 28, Clause 1 of the Succession Act that states that all the lineal descendants shall take equal shares of the deceased person's estate.
Everest is entitled to equal share like the rest of the children of the late Thomas. It is therefore our conclusion that the complainant was indeed discriminated against insofar as he was not given a share of the estate on the ground that he was born by a mother from Burundi.
The Equal Opportunities Commission therefore concluded that the complainant has proved his case and is therefore entitled to damages as provided for under the law.
He brought witnesses, and we felt that there was really indeed a discrimination condition, and we have ruled that he's entitled, according to law, he's entitled to have the same amount of share in his father's property like his brothers and sisters. And we have also awarded him damages of 2 million shillings because actually he has been inconvenienced. He first went to the president's office, he went to the Prime Minister's office, and finally he came here.
Because as he is, he's almost a destitute. He lives on people's sympathy, lives on people's help here and there. So now he will get his own portion from his father's estate. I'm happy with that. And this is the only place where people without money in Uganda can actually get justice. The next step, we expect to go to the Administrator General's office because he's in charge of the divisions of the properties of the estate. So we are going to the Administrator General's office with the judgment and let him enforce that judgment.
The Equal Opportunities Commission is mandated to eliminate discrimination and inequalities against any individual or group of persons. Adiana Kute, UBC.
Rotary Club is to work together with government to address the challenge of mental disorders, which might be a problem that has led many to commit offensive acts. This was disclosed by Edward Kakembo, the District Governor, 9-13, adding that mental disorders play a pivotal role in committing offensive acts such as murder and suicide, among others.
Since the beginning of this year, tragedies including shootings, suicide have been on increase in the country, claiming the lives of many individuals, including Minister of Gender Charles Engora, his bodyguard, businessman Utambandali, and Nabukenya Monica, among other tragedies. According to Edward Kakembo, the district governor, 9-13, such acts are sometimes caused by mental disorder
So as people of action, we want to address the issue of mental health, but we are urging government to come and support us on both the boy child and the mental health. Because we as Rotarian alone, we cannot do so much. We're only 4,000 plus in this country. So if government come on board, we shall appreciate, we shall be able to support that critical age, which is the key to the development of our nation.
Now Rotaries work together with the government to address the challenge of mental health in the country.
And we are looking forward to talking to these people, engaging counselors, and how do we identify if somebody has a mental health issue? How do we identify? Most importantly, the person who is sick is in denial. You who is around him should be more sensitive.
We have so many Rotary clubs in this country, 123 clubs at the moment, so we're going to work with them. We're going to work with them. We're also going to work with the religious leaders, because for them the information goes far. As we wait for government, for the time being now, we are working with those people to ensure that we do what they call, first of all, mindset change.
Kakembo disclosed this during a visit to Rotary Club of Kampala Daybreak at a function held in Kampala.
And what we want to do is to see that we start by sensitizing, one, the boys. We talk to the boys and tell them what the future is like. Perhaps they have lost the hope in the future.
Dorothy Chan, the President Rotary Club of Kampala Daybreak, said they are still struggling to change the lives in the communities through various initiatives, including boosting the education sector, health, among others.
Yeah, it's exciting to host the governor. One, it gives us the direction as Rotary in this year. What is his expectation as a governor? So when he visits like this, he gives us where he wants us to be, the areas he wants us to focus on. And to the community, Rotary is here for you. Rotary is here to change your life. Rotary is here to support you. So we are with you in everything.
Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugudde, UBC News.
Chankwanzi National Leadership Institute Director Brigadier General Charles Kisembo has advised parents about the advantages of patriotism lectures to their children. He was at the pass-out of more than 800 cadres at Chabenda Secondary School in Kamwenge District.
Chabenda Senior Secondary School Patriotism Club has passed out more than 800 participants trained in several areas, including mindset change, self-defense, and patriotism values.
With this knowledge that they have acquired, they are going to be equipped and they are going to be firm, and they are not going to be terrorized or harmed by such rumors that have been circulating around.
We believe with our cadres who have passed today, these young students are going to defend our Uganda.
This was after 5 days under the watchful eye of staff at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi, marshaled by the director, Brigadier General Charles Kisembo.
When I'm talking about national unity and cohesion, I know Uganda cannot survive when it is disunited. Uganda survives when we are one entity. And that one fits into one of the elements of Uganda's national ideology, that is patriotism. That is what patriotism is all about. Love yourself, love your neighbor, love one another.
Patriotism clubs in Uganda are advised, especially in schools and the community, and are a brainchild of President Yoweri Museveni, purposefully to develop a spirit of national building for proper growth and development.
Educationists have started reorganizing institutions to nurture students who meet national development goals. The chairperson, Central Organizing Committee, Jinja College Platinum Jubilee, Father Benchuma Chiaka, told UBC that after 75 years of service, renowned education institutions should produce quality persons to drive Uganda to better heights. He was speaking at pre-activities that included tree planting and marching through Jinja City. The 75 years of Jinja College existence are marked under the theme Harnessing Ingenuity for Continued Excellence.
75 years.
75 years of celebration of junior college. We treasure the environment.
75 years of our existence, how do we consolidate this day as we had a march around town and also to plant this tree in commemoration of the last 75 years of Junior College, a school which has been our mother. It has brought up many of us, and we are proud of this school of existence as it continues to shape, to mentor and to train more young people to come and form this country and also be good citizens of this country. And we thought that one of the activities that should mark our 75 years of meaningful existence, we should go around town to give back to the community, Ginger City, by planting trees around town in a way to bring back that green environment in the city.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates back to ground. Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Step into the future of African coffee at the second G25 Africa Coffee Summit hosted by Uganda. The summit will be held at Speak Resort Munyonyo from the 8th to the 10th of August 2023. Heads of state from Africa's 25 coffee growing nations and coffee value chain actors will delve into the theme, Transforming the African Coffee Sector Through Value Addition. The summit is a defining moment for Africa's coffee growing nations. It's time to listen, innovate, and invest in Africa's coffee future. Ignite the potential of African coffee. Organized by the Government of Uganda through the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries and Uganda Coffee Development Authority in collaboration with the Inter-African Coffee Organization.
Welcome back. In business news, Airtel Uganda is taking a groundbreaking step forward in the world of technology by launching 5G network transmitters in the heart of the country's capital, Kampala, one being at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. This move is expected to revolutionize the way Ugandans experience and interact with the digital world.
The district of Kampala is set to be the epicenter of this technology advancement with the deployment of a 5G network. The power of this network has been showcased at the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, seeing Mr. Dutch William, UBC's head of marketing, experience virtual reality for the first time.
Right, I think I'm actually in space or something similar, in an aircraft but without seats. Eh?
Yes, sir.
You need the best connection that is possible to allow you to transfer data, to transfer information, to be able to reach out to your audience with the necessary information and content that you give. So this connectivity for UBC is great. Of course, we know that government has got NITA-U that provide a similar service as well, but I must add that it can no longer be monopolized by one institution. So there are times when technically you can have a shortfall in certain areas, so you must have a backup.
At present, 5G network support is limited to new generation iPhones. However, Airtel Uganda has stated that the demand for this cutting-edge technology is projected to skyrocket in the near future.
People have automated gates. All those equipment need a fast connection, and we are here to deliver that speed. We're already delivering up to 1,500, I've seen 1,800 Mbps, that is in megabits per second. The transfer of data is so fast that it could take even half a minute to download the 3-hour movie.
As more 5G-enabled devices and network become available and accessible, the network's true potential will be unlocked, transforming the way Ugandans use mobile data and interact with the digital landscape. Wadulo Makanold, UBC News in Kampala.
Meanwhile, Uganda aviation industry is on a steady revival trajectory. This is according to the just released report by Uganda's Civil Aviation Authority on the state of Uganda's aviation industry. Notably, passenger traffic using the Entebbe International Airport is higher by over 100,000 from January to June this year compared to pre-pandemic year of 2019.
Uganda Civil Aviation Authority is optimistic of the sector recovering to the pre-COVID times. This was disclosed at the release of the State of Uganda's Aviation Industry Report that captured key developments from the mid-year of 2019 to the mid-year of 2023. According to the report, Entebbe International Airport recorded a total of 842,429 international passengers in the first half of 2023. It reflects a passenger growth of 134,679 compared to the same period last year. The Civil Aviation Authority is currently upgrading and expanding the Entebbe International Airport to comply with the international aviation standards, keep up with the rising number of travelers, and also meet their customers' expectations.
Progress is at 85% level of completion. That is overall. But it has several sub-components which have been completed, including strengthening and rehabilitation of runway 1230 and runway 1735, and of course other taxiways that are associated with those runways.
Issues pertaining to the expansion of the national carrier Uganda Airlines routes and concerns by travelers on delays and cancellations of flights without prior notice were also tackled at the media briefing.
So we are trying to do whatever we can as the regulator. We appreciate the complaint from our travelers, and we will continue engaging the airlines. Where it's possible and where it's within their control, they should be obliged to communicate to the traveler on any changes in the travel. When it comes to Abuja, Nigeria, we were in Nigeria last week. We went in and were able to negotiate with the Nigerian government to allow Uganda Airlines to start flying into Lagos and Abuja. And I must say that in the interim, that approval has been given by the Nigerian government. What is remaining, which is also critical, is that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority will be arriving here today. They will conduct an inspection on the aircraft and other bits of Uganda Airlines, and if it is satisfactory, between Friday and Monday next week we should be able to get an approval for Uganda Airlines to fly to Nigeria, that is Lagos and Abuja.
The Aviation Authority has also disclosed that Uganda is scheduled to undergo a universal safety oversight audit program, continuous monitoring approach to be conducted by the International Civil Aviation Authority, ICAO.
The most recent ICAO audit on Uganda on safety and security was conducted in 2017, and the state of Uganda scored 81.8%. That obviously was well above the global average of 72%.
Dennis Igor for UBC News.
And promotion of coffee value addition will be high on agenda as 25 African coffee-producing countries gather in Kampala for a 3-day summit. The summit seeks to tackle challenges in the coffee sector and come up with clear strategies geared at ensuring African coffee farmers reap big from one of the continent's leading cash crops.
The upcoming Africa Coffee Summit seeks to harness the significance of value addition and strategic positioning of coffee as a commodity that can accelerate Uganda and Africa's social and economic transformation.
The privilege of hosting the second summit in Uganda, the second coffee summit of heads of state, gives us as a country an unrivaled opportunity to market our coffee to African countries and deepen economic integration. As the President of Uganda, His Excellency John Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, continues to rally stakeholders in the coffee subsector to focus on value addition to increase income and support the government's economic agenda, I wish to challenge our coffee farmers, processors and exporters to heed the President's message so that we can stop exporting raw coffee and therefore giving away our jobs.
Although coffee is a top cash crop globally and Africa is a major production sector player, its benefits to the farmers and economies is a matter of concern that needs urgent attention.
The real solution to the conundrum of low prices for coffee is what the Honourable Minister and the President have been emphasizing, which is value addition. Value addition. As has been emphasized before, if you add value, if you roast coffee and make it into powder and you sell coffee powder, the price is going to go up.
The coffee roadmap, developed with support from Uganda government, has been christened as game changer in shaping Uganda's coffee industry. With coffee market in Africa still not fully tapped into, this summit seeks to address the existing gaps.
As you know, we have a coffee roadmap which government helped us to develop. And this coffee roadmap specified certain goals, including the issue of provision of seedlings, the issue of addressing markets, and the issues of addressing inputs. And this is something that UCDA has consistently worked on. And on behalf of the board of UCDA, we are very focused on the mission of the roadmap.
Promotion of coffee domestic consumption, enhancement of consensus in Africa-producing countries, expanding regional trade, among others, will be discussed during the summit. Crispus Arenaitwe, Dennis Sigowa, UBC News.
Upgrade your lifestyle with the all-new entry-loaded Chillax voice bundles. Now, call all networks in Uganda with Chillax voice bundles. Call all networks, no expiry, no worries. Dial *100 *1# and select call all networks. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The biggest, the baddest East African Christian Marathon is here. Come participate at the East African Christian Marathon for a prayer run on the 13th of August 2023 at the Lugogo Hockey Grounds. Come represent your family at the prayer run and run for a good cause to build the first call center, which will be East Africa's virtual listener. Come for the prayer run alongside your pastors, leaders, representatives from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, South Sudan, and of course Uganda. Participate with Honorable Captain Mike Mukula, who is the chief runner and patron. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Make your donation for your kid now from 20,000, 30,000 and 100,000 Uganda shillings, because runs change the world. For more details, call 0781 885 055 or visit our website at www.eastafricachristianmarathon.org. Proudly sponsored by PKF, UBC, Venro Health, Aquafina, and Moving Preacher.
Now in sports, Ndeja University's Disma Yeko won Uganda's first gold medal in the men's 10,000 meter final yesterday at the FISU World University Games that are currently happening in Chengdu, China.
Waited until the final mile and then just went.
Disma Yeko, Ndeja University student athlete, claimed gold for Team Uganda at the FISU World University Games in Chengdu, China. The 19-year-old won the men's 10,000 meter race on Wednesday, clocking 28 minutes and 59 seconds at the Shanglu Stadium. On Thursday night, Achiro Knight won the country's second medal at the Games as she came second in the women's 800 meter final with a time of 2 minutes and 4 seconds to bag the silver medal for Team Uganda. Team Uganda continues to represent the country in athletics, swimming, badminton, and tennis. Elsewhere, Team Somalia is under investigation by FISU as they fielded an athlete in Sarah Ali Abuka who represented them in the 100-meter sprint and caught the world's attention as she broke the world record for the slowest time of 22 seconds, which was 10 seconds behind the race winner. The Somali Athletics Federation has reportedly launched an investigation into the selection process, and the Somali Minister for Sport has issued an apology for the misrepresentation and embarrassment of the country. Marsha Miro, UBC News.
The Uganda women's basketball national team, the Gazelles, was knocked out of the 2023 Afro Women's Basketball Tournament by hosts Rwanda at the BK Arena on Wednesday night. Having made it to the quarter-finals for the first time, the Gazelles put up a fight but were unfortunate to lose by 66 to 61 points.
Asinde left her wide open. Wow!
A day after making history at the Afro Women's Basketball Tournament, the Uganda Gazelles, who reached the quarterfinals for the first time, were knocked out by neighbors Rwanda as they lost 66 points to 61 at the BK Arena on Tuesday night.
It's crazy what Rwanda is doing with basketball. It's crazy how the people were pushing, and for maybe 80% of the girls, it was the first game with more than 300 persons. They came back. It's not easy to get 4 threes in a row, feel the people around. The easy is give up, and they came back. Were we able to change things? Maybe yes, but I don't know. I will not change anything. Honestly, I will not change anything.
It was a collective team effort from the Gazelles, as their top performer in Janon Otto scored 31 individual points on the night for the Gazelles, who dominated the first 2 quarters as the first half ended by 28 to 27 points in their favor. After the break, they fell short and lost control in the third quarter before trying to play catch-up in the last quarter of the game, as it was too little too late.
I think the biggest thing that we did was just keep relying on each other and playing as a team. We kept trying to talk to each other and encourage each other that we're not yet done. We still have 10 minutes, we still have 15 minutes. And that just kept pushing us to keep wanting more, to keep wanting more. The team that we have right now is young, and I believe in every single one of the ladies who are with us right now. We're not yet done. I think we're going to leave a mark somewhere.
Having last made an appearance at the Continental Showpiece in 2015, the Gazelles, who surprised many on their way to the quarterfinals, are confident that this was just the beginning, as the best is yet to come. Marsha Miro, UBC News.
Well, that does it for news tonight. For now, we do return at 10 o'clock with more details. Elizabeth Nakakuni on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Qualified, professional, and compassionate doctors talking real solutions to real health problems.
Good evening, our beloved viewers. It's your week's favorite talk show, the Doc Talk Show, that brings you information about your health, because we know that your health is your wealth. Once you are healthy enough, then we know you can be able to move towards getting wealthy. And at the Doc Talk Show, we made that pledge. Every now and then look around for the best information about how to better your health. And that's why we're here today. And today is a very special day. This show is dedicated to some health condition that is very part of us, is very